Welcome to this battle report Quickcap featuring Ackbar and Dodonna. This is a first in many ways, so please bear with me with some of the technical aspects here. It's not the best quality, I know. It's more of a trial run. Anyways, thanks for watching. So here we have an aggressive Ackbar fleet with two space potatoes with gunnery teams and ECMs. Ackbar's on one of them with Lando as his officer, and then three TRC-90s with one of them being Jaina's Light. And then finally a Slicer Tools Quantum Storm, rounding out for 6 activations at 395 points. I was flying Dodonna on a TRC-90 Jaina's Light. I also had Yavaris and an Admonition, and then I also had Bright Hope with that 8R Talon, Bomber Command Center, an Expanded Hangar Bay, and a GR-75 with CommsNet for 5 activations. And then I had a Skurg, Janors, Luke Skywalker, Rogue Squadron, and a normal X-Wing and Dash Rendar for 6 squadrons, adding 3 more deployments for a total of 8 and 398 points. Ackbar chose first player, as he had a 3-point bid, and he had to choose between Precision Strike, Hyperspace Assault, and Superior Positions. He chose Hyperspace Assault, and that one was tricky for me because I wasn't sure if I wanted Yavaris or if I wanted the Admonition, being the hyperspace ship. I ended up choosing the Admonition. So Hyperspace Assault was the chosen objective, as mentioned earlier, and here we are in the middle of obstacle setup here. The blue dice represents kind of the deployment barriers. I know it's not normal, but I have a 4x6 mat, so we use those border pieces as kind of the setting the baseline as well. And those border pieces are 1 ruler length in, so they're not really there for the side boundary, they're there for the rear boundary. So technically they're sticking onto the battlefield a little bit with those little corners, but I mean, we'll just flip those 180 if that ever does become an issue. So I'm here on the close side here, whereas Ackbar is flying on the far side. As first player, he leads off with a speed 3 TRC-90. I think initially he picked up Jaina's Light and then he opts to swap it out. Yep. So I set up pretty sure this is my Bomber Command Center GR-75. No, this was my CommsNet GR-75. I deploy a speed 2. I'm just trying to get something here that might try to get him to split his forces a little more, as I don't want him obviously conga lining completely. Granted, it wouldn't be the worst case scenario if he did, because I probably could head him off, but that's something I was trying to avoid. It's a little easier to split up forces than to get them to fly the way you want. So I think I deploy Luke and Rogue first. And he places his Slicer Tools, Quantum Storm. I place, what is that, Dash and the Skurg. That's, that is not Ackbar's space potato he just put down, but he put it down at speed 2. I round out my last 2 squads there, Jan and the normal X-Wing. Jan in the rear, don't really need her, taking up positional space that other ships or other squads can take, as he's not flying any squads in this battle here. There's Kitty. Uh, Anyways, he's not really sure what to do with this flagship here, and I'm honestly kind of surprised he's considering his flagship. Um, as you know, generally it's something I want to save for the end. This is our first time playing Hyperspace Assault, so uh, I think he was pretty nervous overall about the admonition being able just to pop in and kind of spook him. So he ultimately, I think he commits to this at speed 2 with a fairly passive here side deployment, but this is kind of exactly what I want to be. Yeah, he bumps it to the edge there of the deployment zone. This is kind of exactly what I want because I'm obviously gonna try to avoid flying into it. So he's now kind of essentially said my two heavy hitters are going to be split, and I'm all for that. So I throw down my Bomber Command Center now. This is Bright Hope. He's got 8R Talon and Expanded Hangar Bay. And I throw that there because I want to try to take out this singular potato as soon as possible. Also, that slicer tools is not something I'm a fan of, and I want to kind of keep it far away. He places Jaina's Light going the same way as Ackbar's potato there. I think speed 3, as well as so all his CR90s are going speed 3. I place my Jaina's Light there at speed 3, going off at an angle, trying just to establish that perimeter, and I place Ivaris down. I'm pretty sure that was a speed 2. So, no, is that speed 1? That's speed 1. Okay. So yeah, that's speed 1. So I swap the upgrades on my two JR75s here, so that way they're aligned to how they're positioned on the table, just to make things easier for both players. And it's generally, I didn't really foresee them crossing, especially because that one GR75 is facing the opposite direction. I'm not a fan of the MSU type build, but I mean this is like MSU Squadron, but so because at this point I'm pretty nervous, like one big hit from an Ackbar potato here, it could spell disaster for my dudes. And I want to avoid that. So he reveals a nav and he takes the token and he ends up oh no, I killed the focus. Okay. He ends up turning out trying to establish that perimeter, keep things in the side arc, anything that scooches too far forward, just kind of hold things back, right? So I'm move my Bomber Command Center, GR75 Bright Hope forward, speed 2. I took a squadron token there as a keepsake because with expanded hangar bay and 8R Talon, I can do four squadrons and reactivate one like Dash or Luke. So it's a pretty good combo there, and obviously as many squads as you can get on that Alpha Strike is a good thing. So he reveals a nav and takes the token. Um, I think he's locked in here. Yeah. So I instruct him here that just because Tabletop Simulator locks it in automatically doesn't mean he can, as we're both planning on going to Las Vegas Open at the end of January 2021. So hopefully, that vaccine that is, getting pushed around now, hopefully that can help start cleaning things up here as things are getting pretty bad here in the States. But anyways, I go forward with my CommsNet Gazanti or GR75 here, and I give a squadron token to my good friend Yavaris. So, and I think obviously you want a squadron token on Yavaris as much as possible because it's literally 50% improvement. And plus, if you need to nav to get out of danger or something of that sort, it's always there, to let you double tap something, because and make the most of that OP title. So he goes with his Quantum Storm here. I think he doesn't choose to. No, he spent the token to keep it at speed 2, but that way he could Quantum Storm. So, which is fair, because it essentially lets you kind of finagle that nav chart a little bit. I mean, granted, he already had the dial. He took the dial and then spent it just to move one forward without upping the speed, but that's that that's a fine move. I go up to speed 2 with Yavaris here, trying to, force the potato either to really commit to the outside and potentially fly off the map, or then I can kind of just turn, or just kind of pin him up against the side of the map here. So he's just reviewing the card. I would have been doing that. I don't remember who put that down. Okay, so here he comes with the final one. He parks it just beyond the debris field. Quality maneuver. I move my last ship forward here. My Jaina's Light. Dodonna. I made an illegal move, so I had to reset things back. There we go. So I had to nav. Yeah, that's a token hanging off its butt. So he goes here with what? Jaina's Light? Okay, you can see here why deploying at a parallel to the board, or to your player's edge, isn't really the greatest example here, or isn't really the greatest situation here, because you're gonna have a tough time. Um, gonna have a tough time turning when because the other player's easiest movements is just deploying, you know, away from it. So it's fine if you know the player's gonna fly into it or something, but it's not fine when the you know the other player has a lot of deployments. So now at the beginning of turn or round 2, I haven't updated the scoreboard yet, as that is something I update as I record. Um, there it is. I now place in my good old friends the admonition. He's got Lando, he's got APT, he's got Ordnance Experts, and the admonition title for 4 upgrades on that bad boy. I think it's like 89 points or something. It's pricey, it's cheap, but it's also cheap. It's a good vessel there. So I placed it here, so it's double arcing the potato. It's blocking the potato from escaping really, without jumping into kind of like a death field. It it's also double arcing the CR90 there. And so, unfortunately, I didn't think about how I was positioned well enough. So I did put myself in the side arc of this space potato, which I think he ended up going with the concentrate fire. And I think he goes with, yeah, he takes the ram there. And then I think all my squads are out of range. So he couldn't follow up with a gunnery team shot. So I attack the CR90 here. I'm pretty okay with this roll. APT comes in. I get a look at top 4. I think I was re-explaining how APT does 1 extra damage, because I think he perfectly neutralized it with shields, but it would still deal 1 through. Technically it happens before the shield damage occurs, but something you get with experience is some of these more nuanced timing rules. Again, we started playing in December. We've only really played against each other. So I follow up with a side shot here. I think it was. I look pretty distressed about the roll. Yeah, side to front. Or he might have redirected to the front. Yeah, he redirected. He flipped Lando, and then in reality he realized, oh, that's the other space potato. I was like, okay, thank God. Because Lando, is obviously pretty dang good. So I think the CR90 ended up taking up what? A structural, so it was at 1 health, and I end up naving to ram there. I think basically I just did a jig to the left. I'm at speed 2 on that bad boy. Quantum Storm rolls right up in my face. He does a speed 4 effective maneuver because Quantum Storm is the way the Quantum Storm is. He changes the dial. I forgot what he changed it to. Overall, I wasn't too upset. It did affect how I was planning on sequencing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my spot at this point here. I got a 51-point lead because I was able to kill that CR90 before activated, before it could deal any damage. I guess I did run into it, so it did deal 1. And obviously the ammunition only has 4 hull, right? So um, it's not a great spot to be in. So I start up with Luke here with Yavaris, or no, sorry, with Adar Talon here on the GR75. And then I'm doing just some ranges here. Just inside with the Skurg for 1 blue, 1 black. That's 3 damage there. That was pretty brutal. I think he ended up burning his redirect with that. He ended up burning something. Um, Move Jan Ors over because I can. I have Yavaris coming up, so um, for the most part, those things are. And then this 4th one. So basically, I perfectly have it set up here now. I have 2 squads that are unactivated with Yavaris, who has a token, and then Luke. So I think one of them, they're both rogue actually, those 2 that I have left. So I don't even need to spend my token with Yavaris really if I'm not going to get that double Dutch ability. Yep, and he puts that back there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I end up just doing dash in Luke again. Luke being able to double tap with Yavaris here is just the nuttiest thing. Triple tap Luke is pretty scary when you have Dodonna and Bomber Command Center. Uh, so good times. But you're wondering why I don't have Gold Squadron or stuff like that. I actually don't have Rebel Squadron Pack 1. Um, I'm an Imperial player, so but I was able to build a fleet here, with good things. Thankfully, the core set comes with X-Wings, so I was able to use the Krellin Conflict Rogue Squadron with my X-Wings that I own. I do have Rebel Pack 2, so Janwars is legit. I think he actually has a paper TRC 90. One of those, that really shiny upgrade over there is actually a piece of paper that says TRC on it because we don't actually own 4 TRC copies, as he's rolling with 3 and I have 1. I don't normally run it, obviously, because I'm more of an Imperial player. I'm not really running like Nita, Arc 10 TRC. So he rolls up here with, gosh, that's just in the other TRC 90. So now Yavaris. overlap dash, right? Not a huge deal, because I'm just going to activate him, right? A double tap with Luke, deal some mad damage here. It's harder for me to recall what exactly happens, especially when I wait a month to do these videos. I was busy with work, but it's also because TTS I could also see the upgrade, or the damage card I was dealing a little more clearly. Luke's able to finish off, or sorry, it was Dash there that was able to finish off thanks to the Bomber Command Center, or remember that. Oh, look at that turn. Jaina's Light, pretty much complete 180 from the direction she was going. So now I'm getting flanked pretty hard, but I completely eliminated that left flank already, so I'm pretty happy about my position, seeing as essentially half his fleet is toast. My Janus Light's turning right there, and that should be the round. Oh, after his potato goes. Conveniently stay outside. So one thing here with my MC30 admonition is that please note, look at it. It's kind of there off in no man's land. That was one of the costs of essentially nuking the CR90. Is it's kind of just floating away from where the battle is literally fighting in probably it's what 5 o'clock, maybe 4:45. So yeah, Rogue Squadron goes and jumps on what's it called? Uh, that because oh yeah, he gave it a squadron, I think it was. And I end up ramming, I believe. Yeah, I end up ramming Quantum Storm with my GR75. Not Bright Hope, just the normal GR75 with CommsNet. This guy was a little audacious. Not sure if I would have flown him the same way if I did it again, but overall, I'm pretty happy with where the battle's going. Yeah, so you can see here I have updated uh, the score. So I now have 137 points off the table on his board, and that's always a really good spot to be in when I only have effectively 3 hull damage. I don't have a whole lot of shield damage, and 3 of it or all that most of that damage is on a ship that's not even going to be in combat until maybe round 6, maybe 5. So I'm feeling pretty comfy right here. Granted, my GR75 is, kind of weak. There's me showing off the laser line. Uh, I think I forgot to update the round. So he hacks. Oh gosh, what did he hack? I think he hacked the Nebulon to give it a concentrate fire uh, with slicer tools. But thing is, he ended up double arcing himself. I moved my Admo because it's effectively a strategic advisor at this point, since it's out of the battle. It won't be going in battle at this rate. I don't think I slowed down with it. I think I kept the speed 2, which in hindsight I probably should have slowed down to speed 1 and try to, hit that station up and maybe catch the tail end of the action a little sooner. Um, I probably should have done that, but who knows? Okay, so the non-Janus Light comes and parks right here, right behind my slightly damaged GR75. End up killing the GR75 with Yovaris. I don't really have a follow-up shot. Um, I move? Should move first, but it's whatever. I don't even know what I'm measuring right there. He throws Jaina's Light forward into the fray. Scary times. Gosh, Quantum Storm's what? 19, 26 points. So yeah, I have a 163 point lead right now. This point's it's kind of a cluster, and I'm not really sure how I want to activate, like what the ideal is. I end up going with my Jaina's Light because I want to keep my stuff out of his range, which I think frustrated him because I mean, look, he's got Ackbar. This ship has literally not fired. It's round 3, right? Oh, I somehow I didn't see when I updated the scoreboard there, but it is now round 3, and round Ackbar hasn't fired. It's round 3 and Ackbar's ship has not fired, uh, and it's already activated. So yeah, like there's an issue with passive deployment there. Is if you're playing an offensive fleet, you gotta have the offense to back it up. Or I guess you gotta have the deployments backed up. And you can't always trust your opponent to fly into your thing. So I activate my squad or my GR75s here. And now it's squadron turn. I'll look at him fishing that thing around. Basically poking his stuff with my squads. I'm gunning for this TRC 90 before Jaina's Light because uh, I just don't want to get into the rear if possible. I don't like I'm trying to just keep everything in front of me, you know. Um, right now that thing has better rear shot or side shots than frontal shots, and with Ackbar, you always want to minimize the side shots, so that's why I'm kind of killing it first. I mean, there's no real wrong here. Maybe Jaina's Light's the correct answer to jump on because it's Jaina's Light and it's worth 2 more points. So he ends up hitting this Kazanti pretty hard, or the GR75 pretty hard. You can tell I'm an Imperial player. And I'll go with Yovaris, who's got a squadron again, not terribly useful. And he, yep, moves that forward. Okay, so yeah, now I go with Yovaris. I'm thinking. I think I'm just trying to see what squads I can activate where, because my squads that kind of jump down there are a little far from my ships, right? So that GR75 doesn't have boosted comms, it has expanded hangar bay. So it can't really reach out to long range, but I think I am in range with 2 of those 3. Go for Jaina's Light here. Try to keep things in range of my. I'm basically pretty confident where I got. I have that Skurg there, right? I have if you look at that TRC 9 on the bottom, I have that Skurg there. I have Jaina's Light above it. I have another squad there in position to jump on it. I think that's Luke. Um, I'm pretty happy with the amount of firepower I have facing that thing at the moment. And so we move things towards Jane's Light because, after a while, it's going to, Ackbar is going to fly in, right? So I'm about to kind of like set up this gauntlet for my opponent's ships to run essentially. And then my admonition's still flying off in the corner. So, trying to remember what he's shooting here. He ends up killing my bomber command center. Pretty sad times. So that's 43 points for a flotilla. That's more than Hammerhead. Like big fun times. But overall, it's a pretty strong hammer or GR75 build because you have the reroll, you have with pretty much every single one of my squadrons except for Jan, and then I get to triple tap with or double tap, at least double tap with one, triple tap if I have Yavaris on deck. And with Luke potentially it's just baller. Dash he gets double reroll, right? So it's good times for I think that build. I'm so silly. All right, so I have a little more damage on me now. I think both my GR75s, well, my GR75's at 3 damage there, and the other one's at 2. Heal off one of the damages. Did I even heal it off, or did I heal a shield? I don't even know what I did. He ends up killing it. Okay, I guess in hindsight, the GR75s did get pretty close to crossing over each other, but it would have been around 4 by the time that happened. So, that's for my upgrade placement. Anyways, so he's, like I said, that now the Space Potato is kind of running into the gauntlet here. And we're running late actually for, we're gonna go visit a third friend here who is, we hadn't seen him in a while, so he just moved into his new place all by himself. So I end up taking off that CR90 there and start smacking the damage down on Jaina's Light. So yeah, anyways, we're running late, and so I think we end up just calling it after I kind of pick this. We're calling it soon. Um, do I end up getting Jaina's Light before we call it? We'll find out. It's a significant lead here. I got pretty much everything of his off the board at this point. Yep, yeah, we end up calling it. We talk about deployment here, so I don't know what I'm saying, but I was just kind of telling him how maybe he should try to deploy a little more forward facing, so that way he's not flying, he's not engaging on turn 4 because I deploy all to the opposite side. Granted, he was kind of afraid I was gonna juke over to the right side of the board if and just target that one the straggling TRC 90s, but I mean I feel like those are nimble enough over there they can maybe avoid combat for long enough until everything else can flank, and then by that time it could be on the other side. It could be like on my butt, but I don't know. It's That's not how the game happened. So yeah, and we're talking. At this point he's talking about how he had some past success with a similar strategy, but I think that was against a little of a newer opponent who might have flown a little aggressive. Um, Because, I mean, honestly, I'm still terrified of Ackbar. I think I've won 3 in a row against my buddy here with Ackbar, or who's been flying Ackbar a lot. But it's still like the amount of damage he deals. I think that's one thing. And then the other thing is, doesn't really have a whole lot of dice fixing. So he blanked out on one of his rolls, and that was rough for him. So, anyways, thank you very much for watching the video here. I know it probably wasn't the greatest experience you've had, but if you have stuck it out to this far, I really appreciate you. Please let me know any feedback you have with my commentary, whatnot. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and please subscribe for more content. I generally do the tabletop simulator, but type battles, but I might do Vassal in the future, as I actually am qualified for the Vassal World Cup. Anyways, thank you very much.